A painful day for Activision Blizzard, down 15% on Wednesday, tracking for its worst session since 2008.
I'd buy that for $1.
Hey Internet, Mike Byrne here from MMOBomb.com, and now it is time in this episode of MMO Thoughts to talk about the absolutely bonkers news that broke this morning, that Microsoft is planning to acquire Activision Blizzard in a deal that will go down at about $68.7 billion US, paying out $95 per share on Activision Blizzard stock that, as of the recording of this video, is currently trading around $82 per share. This is absolutely massive and probably a big surprise to just about everybody. Microsoft obviously has been on an acquisition kick, picking up Bethesda and others along the way, but this deal, in terms of Bethesda's, is like 9 to 10 times the Bethesda deal. They could have bought 9 Bethesda's for the amount they're going to pay for Activision Blizzard. Of course, this story is constantly evolving right now. New details are coming out about certain things, and we'll get into them in the video. So I do want to put the little disclaimer on here that as this is breaking, there may be something that I don't know yet that didn't make the video, and we find out a few hours from now. So as always, feel free to subscribe. Throw your comments down below on what you think and keep us updated so all the viewers watching this video can get those real updates in the comments. Of course, come on over to MMOBomb.com. We'll be keeping you up to date on this news as well. So first, let's look at the transaction itself. On the heels of also announcing that Game Pass had 25 million subscribers, which is a huge number, obviously, Microsoft went ahead and said, you know what, we're going to buy Activision while the buying is good, right? Activision has had a bit of a rough couple of years, self-inflicted 100%, with all the different investigations. Its stock price has taken a bit of a tumble. Its relationships with other companies have taken a tumble. So if you're going to make a move like this, it's a good time to make it. But the move doesn't come with no risks, right? This is a huge, huge financial, I don't want to say gamble, but it is a bit of hedging your bet for the future, right? Microsoft is already kind of in this battle with Facebook and the whole meta universe, and a number of companies are jumping on that whole metaverse technology or metaverse idea when it comes to online gaming. This pumps and primes Microsoft to jump up the leaderboards. Now, they're already huge in gaming, no doubt, but this makes them even bigger. In fact, it makes them an estimated third biggest gaming company by revenue in the entire world, beaten only by Tencent and Sony. So that is some big bang for your buck. This also obviously brings over a ton of monthly users that Activision has across its portfolio, whether that be World of Warcraft or Overwatch or Hearthstone or any number of the Blizzard titles, plus amplifying Microsoft's mobile game. They are going to focus across all platforms here, increases their mobile game presence by a huge degree as well, not only with Blizzard titles, but they got Zynga and Candy Crush and all that stuff too. So this is a huge move that gobbles up a big share of space. Now, the details on this are going to keep evolving because the deal's not expected to close until the third quarter of 2023 on Microsoft's financial calendar. So we have about a year and a half before this is estimated to actually close and be a done deal. Until then, both companies will continue to operate independently of each other, with Bobby Kotick as the CEO of Activision Blizzard. Now, initial reports were kind of vague on what would happen with Bobby Kotick afterwards. Initial reports, and even in Phil Spencer's letter to everybody, just kind of said he'll be the CEO, and then he'll report to Phil Spencer when this goes through. Now, whether he would remain like the CEO of the subsidiary, or whether he would get a different title, or whether he would be gone entirely, yeah, that stuff wasn't really said. But now, as I'm recording this, again, continues to evolve, we are getting more and more reports that Bobby Kotick will most likely be out once this deal closes. Wall Street Journal is saying, according to some of their sources, he'll be out when this deal closes. Karen Weiss over at the New York Times tweeted that she just spoke with Bobby Kotick And he declined to say if he'll be the CEO after the deal closes, but he did say post-close, I will be available as needed. So, yeah, I think he's going to roll away with a huge, huge check that he in no way deserves at all. But, yeah, I don't expect we'll see Bobby Kotick once this closes, unless he takes on some other venture. But if I were him, I would probably take that fat sum of money and just disappear and go live my life, right? But who knows? We'll have to see. So this is absolutely massive, but is it a good thing or a bad thing for multiplayer gaming and gaming in general, right? Most of Activision Blizzard's portfolio, whether it be Call of Duty or any of the Blizzard titles, is multiplayer, but it touches on everything. So let's look at it globally, because I think whether you think this is a good thing or a bad thing depends a lot on a couple different perspectives. One of the reasons I've seen floating around that this deal should not happen is that it creates a monopoly. Unfortunately, I think by the definitions set forth in U.S. law, this is not a monopoly, but I don't think that totally invalidates the concerns of people making that argument. This deal is going to have a ton of regulatory scrutiny as the whole process unfolds, and that's going to be a large reason on why this process takes so long. This is a huge deal. Microsoft had like 6.5% of gaming market share in 2020, and if they would have had Activision, they actually would have had 10.7. So this just under doubles their gaming market share according to 2020 stats provided by Reuters. So it is a big deal there. SEC regulations are going to look all over this. It already has shareholder approval by both boards. You know, when you're making money on your stock, I don't think and your company's kind of in a bad position with its current leadership. I think shareholders tend to want to cash out at a profit and just bail. So it kind of makes sense there. But this is absolutely a gamble. Now, Microsoft, again, according to reports, anonymous sources type deal, did put in a caveat that they are willing to pay a penalty if the deal doesn't go through. That's how confident they are. So according to Reuters, a source familiar with the matter said Microsoft would pay a $3 billion break free if the deal falls through. So they're pretty confident that this is going to not violate any antitrust laws or anything like that. From a gamer's perspective, though, this has got to be a wonderful thing if you're a Game Pass fan, or if you're just an Xbox console person. You know, that is your system. This provides a ton of new titles to the Xbox Game Pass that is already gobbling up subscribers hand over fist. Now, what that'll mean as far as like things like World of Warcraft with a subscription, you know, how will it nest inside of Game Pass? Will it be included? Will it be a separate fee? Will it be a discounted fee? We'll have to see, and we've got plenty of time to see how that's going to shake out. But titles like Overwatch and Call of Duties and, you know, all kinds of possibilities are opened up on the Game Pass front, whether that be for PC or through cloud or through the consoles, depending on which Game Pass membership you have. But the caveat with that has been the concern with the ZeniMax purchase, right? What titles in the future would then be Microsoft exclusive titles? If you're one of those people that hates exclusivity or console exclusivity or even timed exclusivity on a certain console, this is probably raises the same concerns, maybe to an even bigger degree. Personally, I just don't see a world in which Microsoft says something the size of Call of Duty is going to be an Xbox/PC exclusive. I think there's way too much money on the table that you have to let that come out for the PlayStation as well. But they have been coy about those decisions when it comes to future ZeniMax titles. There are contracts in place for some existing in-development titles that will require those to be multi-platform. But will future titles from ZeniMax be Xbox exclusive? And I think the Activision Blizzard acquisition generates those same concerns. Will Overwatch 2 all of a sudden become an Xbox exclusive? I don't think so, but it certainly could, and I don't think somebody's wrong for being concerned there. What about Blizzard's next title? What about the Call of Duties down the line? What about Activision, other Activision titles? there is a concern there. If you're an Xbox gamer, you probably don't care, right? Awesome, I'm getting more. But if you're a PlayStation gamer, maybe that does cause you to raise an eyebrow and be a little concerned about it. And I can understand that, even if it doesn't fall under monopoly rules by the legal definition of a monopoly. On this entire topic, actually, as I was putting the video together, Dina Bass from Bloomberg did tweet talking to Phil Spencer on the exclusivity issue. Phil said, "I'll just say to players out there who are playing Activision Blizzard games on Sony's platform, it's not our intent to pull communities away from that platform, and we remain committed to that." With all due respect to Phil, that seems a bit PR speak to me. It's very similar to something he said when the ZeniMax purchase went through, and to me, it's kind of the equivalent of saying, hey, if you're playing there now, we're not really going to try to pull you away from there. We've got contracts that we have to abide by, but it really does not close the door on exclusivity on future titles. So take that for what you will, even if it is, to me, just a bit of PR speak. The other side of the equation is this a better thing for the company being Activision Blizzard, and more importantly, its employees and its staff? They're still going to have to at least work with under the current supervision until Q3 of 2023. So nothing's changing in the short term. Now, Bobby Kotick did email the Activision Blizzard employees today after news of the deal broke, and said, "No organization's culture, including ours, is without need for improvement, and thanks to your input, we are making strides in improving ours. My commitment is to continue evolving our culture so that come closing, Microsoft is acquiring an exemplary workplace." Yeah, great. It's great for him to say things like that, but again, we still see reports all over MMO Bomb, you can come and read them, of, nobody from Activision Blizzard reaching out to striking employees on the QA side of things. Just things not changing the way that they need to ensure parity, equity, and fairness across the board at Activision Blizzard, or to, stop people from being harassed. A really basic function of running a business as a CEO. So, yeah, I don't know how much changes over the next year and a half. What I really would be interested to see is, how does this change the legal side of stuff? We still have the DFEH investigation. We still have SEC investigations into Activision Blizzard. How do those shake out in the process of this acquisition? I would hope that they wouldn't just go away, but I would want to see, Microsoft shouldn't bear the brunt of the legal ramifications for this company that hopefully they are buying and going to redo the culture. Both Phil Spencer's message and some generic Xbox messaging as well have indicated that, we want to help change the culture. And in a recent interview with Phil Spencer in the New York Times, he specifically talked about Xbox in its past hasn't always done things the right way, the fair way, the above-board way, the employee-centric way, and that they've learned from that and they're hoping to move forward. So I would hope that this would be good news. If you're an Activision employee or a Blizzard employee, I'd love to know what you think. If you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comments, email me directly over at mmobomb.com and we can talk behind the scenes about it, because that's the one that I'm concerned about. Xbox, throughout history, hasn't had the best track record. I will give credit where due, a little better more recently than in its past, of course. But, yeah, hopefully this will be a net good for the Activision employees. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Is this good for Microsoft and Xbox? Is this good for Activision Blizzard? Is this good for gaming? What do you think about a merger, or an acquisition, I should say, of this size? This is a colossal acquisition, a colossal one, as evidenced by the fact it's going to take about a year and a half to actually complete it. Let me know in the comments below how you feel. Until next time, gang, make sure you're keeping it dialed here on mmobomb.com. We'll keep you updated on any breaking news on this story. Until next time, I'm Mike Burns saying stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.